Eddie's hilarious.
This is your ride. Oh, come on now. Who am I, Red Fox?
He's sexy.
That thong, that's not getting worn on the beach.
And he's back.
You didn't even try it on.
That's for me?
Eddie Murphy, Metro. Rated R. Starts Friday, January 17th.
Welcome back to All Sorts of Sports, episode 61, Rodney Hudson episode. Shut up, K-Dot.
You was ready. You was ready.
No, I thought of it on the fly. I knew Rodney Hudson's number 61, and I'm sad that he's with the Arizona Cardinals now because we cut him for some reason, or we traded him for some reason.
I didn't have a 61 ready to go. I think Casey Ryback, who was the center for the Washington football team back in the mid-2000s, maybe?
That's a stretch.
Yeah. All right, but we can go with Rodney Hudson, a black center.
Okay. All right, fair.
Yeah. All right. So,
kind of a quiet week in sports.
Yep. I was about to say the same thing. But we did get an update on Deshaun Watson. So now the police are investigating. Ryan, that was going back to what you were saying last week. So yes. What are your guys' thoughts on that now?
So one of the victims or alleged victims filed with the police department, which then gives them the authority to then begin their own investigation, which I believe happened yesterday. So now the Houston Police Department is investigating that particular claim. So that's basically all that they said was we're now investigating this particular incident. He hasn't been arrested as far as I know. So still an outstanding investigation. Those things can take forever, but given the high profile nature of this, I imagine we'll get answers sooner rather than later. So fire at this point, not really sure.
Well, I mean, I do want to add that the report came out that the Texans have a contingency plan if Deshaun Watson isn't there, and you guys both know him really well. His name is Alex Smith. That is the report going out now that the Texans are. Hey. You guys know where I am. It is what it is.
Your great grandmother's house.
No, but wait until it hits 4:00. Whoa.
Oh God!
Does at that time?
Actually, I'll just mute it. Just calm down.
At 4:00. At 4:00, does the clock sing "Wade in the Water"?
Nah. It like you should be making these type of jokes, but whatever. All right. So the Texans made up a contingency plan. Amazing grace.
Ding dong, ding dong.
God's gonna trouble the water.
It's not a pod if I don't call y'all some bitches. So whatever. All right. So
contingency.
What do you think about the Texans talking about picking up Alex Smith if Deshaun Watson isn't there?
So quicker than the Deshaun Watson thing, this elevates it to a whole nother level as far as the criminal stuff. So from here on out, I ain't really got shit to say other than kind of repeating what I said last week as far as women's just being used as pawns and victims during this entire thing, which is all fucked up. Beyond that, also, you know what? I am going to wade into it just a little bit.
I know.
Into the troubled waters?
Deshaun Watson, regardless of whatever is going on, it is extremely fishy to have this many goddamn massage therapists.
Oh, no. I said that. You remember? I was like, no, the only thing I know for sure right now is he's stupid as shit for doing this.
It's just
for being
weird.
close.
It's
like
really, it's really weird. Like,
how many do you need?
It's one like you could if he said he had like a massage therapist in every town he goes to. All right, I get it. If he has massage therapists, like a few around, like maybe it tops 3, like in Houston, maybe one with the team, then you hire 2, depending on what you're scheduling, whatever it is. Like maybe I can understand that. What's all of this dude has like 30-something massage therapists? Like when your lawyer gets a letter from the other 50 massage therapists that you use to say that you didn't touch them.
How many masseuses are there in the Houston area?
So that's like, I'm like,
is this all of them?
No, he was flying people in.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, like, I don't know if things have changed in massage therapy that dramatically. I mean, I like the occasional massage, but yeah, it shit's weird. All right, outside of that, the Houston Texans with the Alex Smith thing. I can understand bringing Alex Smith if you have like a young quarterback that you're trying to develop. Once again, my whole bridge quarterback theory. But even with that, I'm not looking for him to really start any games. That's why that's the main reason why I think Washington upgraded by getting Ryan Fitzpatrick right now, is that Alex just doesn't look right. Like maybe if he gets a full offseason under his belt, he'll get back the way it is. Because look, I think that there is a certain amount of strength that he needs to build back up in that leg. I think that's fairly evident. But I think a lot of it's also the mental aspect. So maybe he comes back and he's a good game manager. I mean, he won his games. I mean, I'm not going to say he won his games, but he played in games that we won. And before he got hurt, he looked pretty good. So I don't know. I mean, maybe you eliminate that year off of his rust because he didn't get any more wear and tear on his body. I don't know. It's just, to me, if that's Houston's like plan B or shit, like plan A, if everything goes to shit, I don't know, man. I really, and that's also, I think that head coach isn't out of his head.
They're giving up on the season if that's it. I think this is just, we have I wouldn't even say serviceable team to get us through to now we're rebuilding.
And I think they can, the Texans can void all the guarantees in Deshaun's contract now, I believe.
This makes it very easy if he gets off that somebody else can pick him up. But I mean, I don't know. Is Alex Smith on the list because he's the only one desperate enough to go there? Like, I don't know.
No, I mean, if you get an opportunity for stopping, like, yeah, there's only 32 of them.
True that, but that whole organization, I mean, it's just like with the whole Deshaun situation, with everything that's happening with the front office, with all the stories you hear, with everybody trying to get the fuck away.
Don't matter.
If you're trying to prove something, do you really want to prove it there? Is all I'm really saying.
If you have an opportunity to start, it don't matter where. Like, I'll sign a 1-year deal, go in, start, play my ass off, and then get the fuck out of there.
I don't think that's necessarily been true, though, especially when it comes to a lot of these players over the last few years. I mean, you've seen, like, wide receivers or tight ends that have said,
different positions. You remember what I said? There's only 32 starting positions. Would you rather be a backup somewhere or a starter somewhere if you're trying to do something?
Depends on where the backup gig is. A lot of those backup gigs, I'd take that in a heartbeat over being a starter for an organization that's just going to ruin me. Like, if I'm going to be in an organization to start, but I know that I don't have any weapons, right. I don't have a good coach, I don't have a good front office, so I'm just going to get my head bashed in. Would I rather do that or go get a pedigree on another team? Maybe perform really well in the preseason so I get good tape because I got actually talent around me, and then have a team, maybe I get a play where NFC East, NFC champions. And then, all right, maybe there's more spotlight on me as the backup quarterback. Maybe I get to go in week 17 and showcase my talents a few times. Like, I'm just saying, usually you go to a team and you just outright suck because the team sucks. Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get another job opportunity. I just think that itself just seems hard.
Didn't Fitzmagic originally sign that contract as a backup?
What contract?
For what, in Miami?
Yeah.
When did he first get there? Because I think he got there and Tannehill was top dog.
Right?
I think so.
Okay.
And then Fitzpatrick just kind of sat around and waited for the opportunity to shout out when he showed out. Not to mention, on almost every big city, big team, the most popular player on the team is the backup quarterback. I mean, at the end of the day.
All right, but this is what I'll say. Like, if you are in the NFL and you have an opportunity to start somewhere, you're going to pick that 10 times out of 10 rather than to be a backup somewhere. That's all I'll say. especially if you have the ability to get to the NFL. Like, it takes a certain mental, like, all right, whatever. Like, I'm not going to go to the NFL and no, I gave up. Like, I'm not trying to convince you. Like, I just want to get my point out there. I feel like I did. So, like, yeah, it is what it is. Ryan, you want to add anything?
No.
All right. So, other NFL news, they just switched from 16 games to 17 games. A lot of NFL players think it's stupid. I understand that. Specifically, Alvin Kamara. It was funny. He was posting DMs and shit. We'll talk about that later. What do you guys think about the NFL moving to 17 games? I think they're going to cut down the preseason from 4 to 3, too, by the way. So,
I mean, cool matchup for me. But
yeah.
Other than that, like I thought that they should reduce preseason games, but that didn't necessarily mean add an extra game. But I really don't care one way or the other. I don't know if it makes for a better season. I don't know what benefit there is to adding the extra game.
More money.
Yeah, more like TV money. I don't know if that adds anything for the players themselves.
Salary cap.
It's hopefully.
Yeah.
Look, I think
you're right.
I think that I guess I want to see how the season plays out. Does it make for a more exciting finish, maybe? Does it give some of those 8-8 bubble teams a better chance? How do they select the matchups? Because it looked like a bunch of them were not even in conference. So other than a huge money grab, I don't see the benefit yet, but also I haven't seen it in practice. So I wish I knew.
All right. Get up.
It's not a surprise. I mean, they've been telegraphing the 17 game thing for the last 5 years now. Like we've been hearing about it forever, and nothing's changed. I mean, at the end of the day, more games means the opportunity for more injury. More games without kind of changing the way. Look, I get in a buy sort of way, increasing revenue has an impact as far as the salary cap because of the way the collective bargaining checks itself out, right? But is that rate at which fair, consider the additional risk that's being taken by the players? So to me, it's almost like if there's going to be an increase percentage-wise on everybody's salary based on this game itself, maybe there's some sort of stepping platforms they could get to in that. I know that's not going to happen, but to me, it's like if you continue to preach about player safety, you don't do the thing that spits in the face of player safety, especially when the league right now is kind of working perfectly. They've got the perfect amount of teams. They've got the perfect amount of games. I mean, I do love what they did as far as the playoff seeding last year. I think that's a positive change. But overall, I mean, it's just another cash grab. But that's what the NFL does. I mean, at the end of the day, we're really close from having a Tuesday night game or Wednesday night game. Football every day of the week, like anything they could do to line their pockets. I still think Thursday night football is a terrible thing. Yep. They're talking about doing like double headers on Monday now. Still don't like that idea. Like there's so much they're trying to do to line the pockets of the owners where once again, the players are the ones that are at risk. Now, at least they're getting compensated on like NCAA student athletes aren't, but I don't know. But then it goes back to the crux of it all. Am I not gonna watch?
Of course you are.
Of course I am. They know that they've got my arm right there with that needle right there in it with more football.
Woo, 17 games, yeah.
Now as long as they ain't playing 82, because that's when I tap out.
If they delete like one of the let's say they remove the last preseason game, right? And so now the second game would be, like the warm-up game. And then nobody plays a third.
No, I also hate the elimination of the preseason game. I think the 4 preseason games is a good amount of preseason games. The reason that I think that it's not additional risk to the players because no players that usually are starting or even playing are playing that 4th game. But what it does do is help a lot of the athletes put on a showcase in order to potentially get into the league. I think the problem with preseason is you can't have a fucking team charge someone the same price for a preseason ticket as they do a regular season ticket, which is what happens. That to me is the issue. You can have it be an exhibition game, maybe have it be a free game, but what they do is they continually want the revenue. The only thing they're changing, the ticket prices aren't changing from that preseason game to that week 17 game. What is changing is the revenue they're getting from TV because of the new deals they're having, because more people are going to tune in to a game that counts compared to a game that doesn't count. So I don't see any way in which this is helping the athletes per se. It's just another way for them to line their pockets, and then they could say in a roundabout way, well, we increase revenue, you guys will increase what it is you get. I just think it's bullshit.
And also, I feel like for a lot of players, especially like the second squads, it helps them get probably into game shape a little bit better with the more preseason games, because they might not get otherwise like first team looks. But it's just for money. Because I'm going to fucking watch, of course. I don't usually watch more than a quarter of a preseason game. So you'll get me for a full 4 for a week 17, especially if it matters. And theoretically, if a week 17 game is going to matter for a lot of teams, if it's, if you're in a tough division. So we shall see.
Yeah, but we get at week 17, they're going to kick Buffalo's ass. So I'm feeling good about that.
Y'all want to make a bet?
I'll make a bet right here.
Well, what are you betting?
I bet $25 right now. Washington beats Buffalo in our matchup.
Are you saying that because you think that Buffalo has it locked up and we're starting our set?
How about shut the fuck up and just take the bet or not?
Okay, I'll take the bet.
All right.
I'll take it.
Go ahead and do the shake.
It's a smart bet. Because I'm pretty sure that Josh Allen will be sitting for week 17. But
I'm hedging my bet, baby.
Well, you got Mitch Trubisky to back him up, so you'll be all right.
Well, probably if we're already locked into the playoffs, you're going to see a lot of B squad.
Yeah. All right.
And maybe we'll just bench everybody.
Re-sign Calvin Benjamin.
Yeah.
And we'll let Washington will be a half game out. Bench everybody, they'll win and make the playoffs.
So earlier, I
do like that there's no 50. You can't finish in 500 though. I like that sort of. I like that you have to either have a winning record or a losing record.
Well, that is true.
Unless you tie, but teams that tie are assholes.
Y'all done?
Sorry.
All right. Earlier, I referenced.
But I also think
Alvin Kamara, you bitch. Earlier, I referenced Alvin Kamara posting DMs from a fan yelling at him.
Wade in the water. Wade.
Oh, that was it. All right. So, So earlier, I referenced Alvin Kamara posting DMs from a fan. I want to pivot that into another fan posting DMs from a player. I'm talking about Michael Rapaport and Kevin Durant. Did you guys see it?
I did.
I did.
What did you think? And KD got fined $50K, by the way, for the offensive language he used in those private messages, which, I don't know how I feel about that.
What?
Well, KD posted them, though?
Nah, Michael Rapaport did. Michael Rapaport posted it.
Michael Rapaport even considered like some of the interviews people? No,
I don't think so.
He's a comedian actor.
Yeah.
Known for the 1997 movie Metro with Eddie Murphy, where he had a little twist in his hair and played an undercover cop in San Francisco.
All right, so
must have missed that one.
So
good.
So yeah, like I mean, if I send a message to somebody and I'm an athlete and I'm like angry at them and it's like sending an angry text to somebody and then they post it and now I'm getting fined $50,000. That's annoying.
Why does it matter? Well, I mean, but that's the thing is that you're still an ambassador of the league. So if you're doing something and you're okay, what if Tyler Hero sends a post to an angry fan and calls the fan a nigger? What do you think? Should they get fined if the fan posts it?
You're going to have to get jumped.
Is that it? But that's what I'm saying. Is
get jumped.
At the end of the day,
don't fine them, but jump them.
Look, I understand that you're having a conversation with somebody.
Adam Silver just comes down, beats his ass. I'm sorry I made Tyler Hero a racist in my thing. I was like that's random.
I like Tyler. I mean, the first white guy that came to name.
Yeah, you think about Jack Harlow?
I was actually, the song was in my head.
I know.
But I understand the private message being something that should be between two people. I think Rapaport is a bit of a bitch for doing what he did. Yeah. Although it is kind of good payback. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, nobody's losing any respect for KD. Because KD was actually, he was kind of going hard, and he didn't use a burner account. So, point for KD. And then Michael Rapaport's kind of been annoying a lot of people recently anyway. Even though people, for the most part, I mean, I don't hate Michael Rapaport. I actually find him fairly entertaining. And every once in a while, he has said something I'm kind of like, all right, I agree with you. I don't know. It's good payback. It's like, all right, motherfucker, you got me like this. Here's $50,000. How about a $50,000 fine for your ass? Like, I think, even out. It evens out. Michael Rapaport got bitched out. He looks like a cold bitch online. So what does KD do? He loses $50,000 from doing it. I don't think KD bats an eye at it happening anyway.
No. Yeah. And you saw like the counter to that was Steve Nash coming out saying like, it's very likely that KD comes back this week because KD's been out for injury. So now it's like, oh, KD might play. And then now, story gone, talk about KD coming back. You know,
the story would have been gone anyway. It's fucking Michael Rapaport.
Nobody cares. Like the only other person that cares is Dave Portnoy, who also hates Michael Rapaport.
Right.
Like nobody likes Michael Rapaport from what I can tell. I don't have a position on it except that he continually looks like a little bitch. But that's just maybe the public perception, you know. I'm not here to judge.
He looks like he can annoy the fuck out of you.
KD did roast the shit out of him.
Oh,
and
yeah.
for that,
dude,
it told me he needed some sun. Hilarious. And that his wife doesn't respect him. These are all funny things. If I had KD money and someone said, hey, it's going to cost you $50,000 to publicly humiliate this person that you hate, I'd be like,
and they're gonna do it themselves because they're gonna post it.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, they're gonna post this delicious banter online, and all you have to do is pay $50,000. All right.
Update. According to the New York Post, they have Michael Rapaport quoting on Friday, I feel bad about it. I feel very bad about my involvement in this situation. I feel bad that it's gotten this far. I met him one time. It was cool, cordial. I'm a fan. I met him as a fan. He already backed the fuck away. Like, it's over. It's a non-story now. The only part of it that's funny is the fact that KD wasn't using a burner account and went fucking back. But now what I think people need to do is cross-reference the language used in that to other burner accounts so we can confirm that it's fucking KD. Because I'm sure when he's angry, he doesn't give a fuck. He's just putting shit out there.
No, like KD has been responding to people like using his real account. Using his real
recently,
and it's hilarious.
But once again, if you want to respect Michael Rapaport, look out for the 1997 movie Metro, starring Eddie Murphy. He had twists in his hair. It's really, really cool.
You know, Eddie Murphy.
Stop talking about the damn twist.
I think he turned 60 today or yesterday.
Well, happy birthday.
That blows my mind.
I am totally going to put the Metro poster all over this fucking.
Oh, Jesus.
ASOS Podcast 61 is brought to you by the 1997 film Metro.
Starring Eddie Murphy and Michael Rapaport.
The entire description, the description of this episode is just a link to the trailer for the 1997.
No, because we're going to get 2 views.
No,
those are 2 more views that might watch the 1997
No,
film.
we're only getting 2 views. No.
We're going to get the entire fan club of the 1997 movie.
No, you got to move
Metro
that shit.
starring Michael Rapaport and Eddie Murphy.
No, you got to move that idea to the back.
Twisted.
It was like he tried to be Axel Foley, but it was like in the new age, almost James Bond like he was going to be cool. It wasn't cool.
All right, we're gonna move on. Speaking of moving on, I
what
created my own segue.
You know how you can move?
Like the MLB did the All-Star game.
Ooh.
I created my own segue. It didn't work that well, but it
when
did.
you said moving on, I thought about moving on up like Good Times.
Oh Jesus!
Like where that clock probably is in the background in one of the episodes.
Right. 13 more fucking minutes, okay?
When I thought of moving, I thought of the way that some people get to work, which is by Metro, which is also the name of the 1997.
Good job, right?
Okay, the MLB moved the All-Star game. When the story first came out, I was like, "Oh, good shit, MLB." They moved it because they moved it from Atlanta. I don't know where they moved it to, but it was because of the
Field of Dreams.
It was because of the voting act that was just passed. That was some bullshit. All right, now it comes out that the MLB didn't move it because of that. Like just because of that, they moved it because they were getting pressure from corporate sponsors.
Yeah, they didn't even discuss it with the teams or anything.
The players didn't have any vote on it at all. It was never brought up. And I'm like, okay, well, it's going to give you kudos, but I'm going to go ahead and take those back. What do you guys think? Do you guys feel like I do, or do you have different thoughts?
I mean,
K. You have no idea what I just said, did you?
No, I thought it was nice that you took the kudos back.
Okay. Yeah, I thought of that in a moment too. It's like Rodney Hudson.
Major League Baseball. They are also mostly concerned with their money. We saw this last year. Remember when they couldn't figure out if they were going to play? They wanted them to play, but get paid 30%.
Yeah.
And then they weren't really giving a shit about COVID. And then we thought, I was shocked when I found out that people thought that they moved the All-Star game because they talked to the players and the teams and determined that the Georgia voting laws were so bad that they would have to, they as an organization had to move the All-Star game. Of course, that wasn't the fucking reason. Like, they are only about their cheddar. And if their corporate sponsors decide that they don't want the All-Star game there, that is probably the only reason that the All-Star game isn't there. I am shocked that they didn't even try and cover any of that up, or even had one conversation with a couple players. Like, it doesn't look like they did anything. The corporate sponsors were like, hey, we're not having the All-Star game there. And then Major League Baseball is like, all right, we'll cave. And we'll post online that just won't say anything about the corporate sponsors initially. We'll just say that we're moving it because it'll look good if we do that. God, I love baseball, but I hate Major League Baseball as an organization.
Yeah, I hear you.
If anyone ever thinks that a corporation or organization or anything makes any decisions based out of the warm cockles of their heart feeling all good that they've done something, you're a fucking idiot. Like, that's the NBA. We come to all the Black Lives Matter stuff. Yes. What? Huh?
Was it your use of the word cockles?
Did he mute because the grandfather clock is going off? Okay. Look. Did I call him a fucking idiot just now? Okay. I don't know what's happening. All right, whatever. At the end of the day, even when it came to anything that we saw last year with all the Black Lives Matter stuff when it comes to the NBA, they didn't do it because they thought it was necessarily the right thing to do. They did it because if they didn't do it, they wouldn't have a product to put out on the goddamn court. So, I mean, if they had talked to the MLB players and the MLB players had said, hey, we're not going to do this because we're not going to participate unless you guys do this. Once again, the only reason a decision is going to be made is because it hits their pocketbooks. So, I mean, people need to stop getting it twisted in that way. If you want to list a number of companies that actually really give a shit about social change, that list is going to be very, 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 very short. Like, you can, like, even off the top of my head, the only one that I can think about is Ben & Jerry's. It's literally the only one. That like they stand out there on a ledge saying this shit and basically saying, if you don't believe in what we believe, don't fucking buy our products. Like that is how you do that shit. I have not seen Roger Goodell, Adam Silver, or fucking who's the MLB guy now?
Rob Manfred.
Rob Manfred. I still want to see Bud Selig. Like
he was awesome.
He was, but have you heard any of those commissioners come out and basically say, if you got a problem with any of our athletes protesting, go fuck yourselves and don't watch our shit? No, because they're doing everything they possibly can do to cause the least bit of resistance possible for the money to still trickle in. It's universal.
Don't make waves.
One of the worst things that ever happened to this goddamn country is that stupid fucking Citizens United bullshit, where corporations are people, and that it's complete and utter horseshit. No boardroom is sitting down asking, hey, how do we actually affect actual good social change? It's, hey, are these people gonna get riled up enough that it's gonna cause a problem to what it is that we're spending money on, or the amount of money that's coming in? Yeah, okay, we should do something about that. That's how it goes down.
I hear you. All right. So, K-Dot, most teams have already played, but your team is not. The Nationals.
My team hasn't either.
Oh, yeah. See, like, my bad, Ryan.
It's the Mets-Nats series. Come on.
K-Dot, tell the people why your team hasn't played.
COVID. Bravo. Everybody's being a fucking asshole because the vaccines are finally coming through. So now everybody wants to fucking go hang out on spring break. We're seeing spikes everywhere. So it's not a surprise. It's probably not going to be the end of this. But the Nationals experience, I don't even know the details of it. As far as, like, I think it was 2 people that tested, but then they had a lot of is it 3 now? But then they had a lot of contact, so it was just like, all right, fuck it, we're just not going to deal. Then there's also the standpoint of our manager with Davey. He's had health issues in the past, so that we're one of those organizations that have been like extremely careful about it. I mean, I just want baseball to start. Like it actually, them not playing hurt me and my clients that I actually work for with bars around DC, as far as them not being able to have the opening day. So, I mean, it really did have an impact. When you start seeing that waiters and bartenders can't even go out to do the opening day thing, so it directly impacts their pockets. So it sucks, but I mean, I'm just glad that they caught it quickly and that we could do what we need to do to shut it down. I mean, I think we're at the point right now where there's going to be some tough decisions to make, because I mean, the wool is over everybody's eyes and thinking that it's like this thing is over. Like it feels almost like it's over, in the sense of the way people are just operating and moving around. And I think that we're too close to the end to not be as careful as possible. We've made it this far. The vaccinations are helping. We just need to calm the fuck down. I'm just ready for the Nats to actually defend their World Series title, because last year didn't count.
Oh, that's sad. It did. I wish it did.
How many games did they play?
I don't know. Enough.
I think the Nats finished with a record, if I'm not mistaken, of 26-34, which it's 24-34, something like that. I think it was 26.
70 game season.
So what would my math be? 20. Well, and then we missed some games or whatever, I think, because of COVID. Then so the year before, when we won that World Series on June 9th, 2019, if I'm not mistaken, our record was 24-33, which means that we were having exactly the same season that we had when we won a World Series. There just wasn't enough games. We ran out. But if they had continued out on the 182, we would have repeated. I mean, that's what we do. Not to mention, we got the best goddamn young player in the history of baseball in Juan Soto, and I don't want to hit shit. We're just ready to fucking rock and roll. I'm so excited to watch these Nats play. Yeah, this will be one of the first seasons I'm actually going to pay attention to the entire goddamn baseball season. I mean, but even this year might not count, because if we didn't get fans to be able to be in the stadium to rock with the team so we could celebrate the fact that we won, then this season might not count either.
Okay, so no season after you guys win counts, apparently.
Not unless we can really rock and be the champions. I mean, who won the World Series last year? You took too long. Exactly. You don't know. It's the Nats. The Nats.
No.
The Nats.
No, I do know. I just don't want to talk about it because I hate the team.
The Nats. The Nats are amazing.
The Doyers?
Yeah.
So apparently there was a flight there was a flight in which one person tested positive, and they quarantined the other 4, which ruined my opening day because goddamn gnats.
Like a gnats at a barbecue, just annoying.
Just obnoxious. So my Mets will open Monday. I have no idea when the Nats are going to open.
Should they be the Washington baseball team then?
No, because the Nationals don't offend anybody.
Call them the Nats.
I don't mind watching the baseball team. I feel like we should change all of them. Washington basketball team. I think it gets
the problem is because it'd be 2 WBTs. You can't have that. Basketball and baseball.
No, because in basketball you'd have to have the WMB, Washington men's basketball team, and the Washington women's basketball team.
So it'd just be the NBA and or NBT.
Not W for Washington. So Washington WM.
No, we're getting. I'm not.
All right. Let's talk about some more important shit.
It can catch on. We can be legit.
No, we're gonna talk about Formula One.
The city of nameless teams.
We're gonna talk about Formula One.
Mystique.
We are moving on to Formula One.
It would just be the WB, and then you got.
We're not moving on.
Washington Soccer Club.
The Whisk.
I like it. Although I think that's Washington Sports Club has that.
The Whisk.
Just saying, it's probably dope.
Are y'all done?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm just saying, anything that comes
Ryan,
out.
Did you watch the race, Bahrain, the first Formula One race of the year?
Yeah, I watched the last 25 minutes of it.
Okay. K-Dot, did you look at any of it?
No.
Okay. Ryan, what did you think about the end of the race?
So I don't understand all the rules still. I'm still learning them. But my understanding was that Verstappen was ahead, but then he was off the track.
Okay, all right. So what happened there was Verstappen passed Lewis, right?
Right.
But he was all the way, all 4 tires were off the track when he passed him. You're not allowed to do that.
It
so
sounds
he had
like a
to
ballsy move.
No, you're not supposed to do that. So at some point you have to give the space back or you get penalized. So I think it's a 5-second penalty.
Right.
So he was like, the Red Bull team told him to give the space back immediately and try to catch him again, right? Verstappen's point later on was, why didn't you guys just let me keep going and I could have built a 5-second lead and won anyway. So what ended up happening is he let Lewis go through and he couldn't catch him again.
Yeah, lost by 7 or 8 seconds.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought he was
0.7 seconds.
Yeah, I was like, he just couldn't catch him.
Yeah.
Or he couldn't get around him.
0.7 or 7 or 8 seconds?
0.7.
7 seconds is a long time.
Yeah, 0.7. Yeah, because when you follow behind the car, the heat just fucks up your tires. So
yeah, he could have been.
You get too close, you got to either get around him or just back the fuck up.
Or he could have. Yeah, he could have been in front of him with all that nice cool air.
Yep.
And probably won by.
Yeah, and then the other thing was he wasn't in he didn't utilize the times when he was in DRS. That's when when the rear wing opens up and you get 12 to 15 more miles per hour. So it was a great race. Lewis said it was the hardest race he's had in a while. Red Bull should have won, honestly, especially with the shit that happened with Bottas. That pit time was fucking terrible. Yeah, especially in crunch time. It was bad.
Bottas was 40 seconds behind.
He was pissed. And he kind of threw the team under the bus, which I don't like. But he's always very honest, even when he fucks up. So,
hey man, there's no I in team, but there is an I in win. Remember that.
Well, Lewis does a lot of that.
There is an I in Lewis.
It's going to be interesting to see when's the next race.
Next weekend.
Okay.
I thought you guys said every other week.
Yeah, but sometimes they race back to back. But it's going to be
last week, not this week. Next week.
Yeah.
Every other week.
So it's going to be interesting to see who has the best testing times in this next track. Because Red Bull should have won for damn sure. Let's see, Maz Penn. That dude was doing all that fuck shit in the off season. It was his first race, and he crashed on the first fucking lap.
Yeah, I saw that.
Bitch ass. All right, so he's pissed off. Whatever.
I mean, it's gonna be Red Bull and Mercedes going down for the next couple weeks.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But I mean, this Red Bull is fucking fast, man.
They have wings.
I was about to say the same fucking thing.
I hate you.
I had to stop.
Right.
I had to wait because I thought you'd add some extra corny to it.
All right, but I do want to mention Yuki Tsunoda. They are talking about how he is the best F1 rookie in quite some time. He had a great race. Huh?
Who's he race for?
Monster energy drink.
No.
Alpha Tauri.
Yeah. He had a pretty good race. Scored in the points on his first one. Mick Schumacher didn't have the best race, but I looked and I think it said that he said that he was 90% happy with what he did. Yuki said 50%.
He was in last.
Alonso had his car fucking died on him. So I felt bad.
There was a bunch of DNFs.
Yeah. Vettel had a bad race.
Vettel came in second to last.
What was it? When he crashed that dude or when he hit that guy, he blamed him immediately. But then announcers were like, nah, Sebastian, that was your fucking fault.
You got to go back and watch the tape. So.
No, he was penalized. So,
go back and watch the tape.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like this is going to be one of the more exciting seasons, which I'm not the biggest fan of because I like Mercedes. I just want them to win. I just want Lewis to win every single time. And that's probably not going to happen with all the rules changes they did.
You sound like a Bayern Munich fan. We win everything. It sucks when we lose.
I mean, they don't win like Champions League all the time, but whatever.
They won every conceivable trophy last year.
Yeah.
6.
Yeah, it was annoying. I'm glad I haven't seen Mauricio in a while. I missed the guy, but I didn't want to see him.
Fuck you, Mauricio.
All right. So the final topic. It's a K-Dot special. K-Dot.
Properly prepped for this.
You didn't?
No, but let's go.
I told you about it.
I didn't remember which topic we chose.
Just the top 5 worst fans.
Yeah, but you remember you had a list of other topics.
Yeah, when I called, I was like, just do the top 5 worst fans.
You remember you called me on a Monday, and I said on the Monday, I was like, I don't do work. I'm not thinking about anything other than spending time with my girlfriend.
That was funny. Look, Ryan, that was funny and was sad at the same time because I'm like, oh, shit, I'm work now. Damn. I was calling you as a friend.
Ooh, shit. No.
Shit.
Calling me about the podcast is different than calling me as a friend.
It's not work. I'm just hanging out with you guys.
You keep talking to me about algorithms and how to get paid on YouTube. It's fucking work.
That's just how my mind works. I always talk about this shit.
But it's a difference between if you're calling me and say, how you doing, bud? Like, what's going on in life?
How you doing, bud?
Fuck you. You're not doing it while we're working.
Is this work?
It's not really work, but I'm saying.
If I have to schedule it into my weekend, then yes.
But not to mention, it's like you. Look, when we're done with this, right? When we're done with this episode, I still have to watch us 3 on a screen for 6 hours while I'm fucking editing the shit. It feels a little like work. I don't complain about it. I love doing it, but it's a little like work.
All right, well, fine. You're right.
I'm just saying.
I still love you.
Mondays are my day to like do nothing. I'm about to start turning my phone off on Mondays, but Monday's like my day to not do anything.
No. I mean,
that's my Sundays or my Saturdays, depending on
when we do this because it's work. All right, but what? All right,
your top 5 worst fans.
Worst fans. Now, are we doing it per sport or period? Like all different sports or anything?
To be honest, you have free reign.
free reign. I'm going to do NFL teams for right now. NFL fan bases. This is usually like just a quick hit sort of thing. Next week, I might do bigger, might expand it, or maybe we'll be on the same page, so this will be a better segment. But whatever. We're going to, so top 5 worst NFL fan bases. Now, should I count down like 5 to 1, one being worse?
Mm-hmm.
All right, hold on. I just got to think about it in my head. Because right now, number 1 is just screaming out to me, right? So, all right, number 5. Here's a go. Here's a surprise. Number 5 worst fan base in the NFL: the Washington Football Team fans.
Wow,
reason
that is a surprise.
Yeah. The reason I say it is that we all deserve a little place in hell for allowing Dan Snyder to continue to own this goddamn team, and for continuing to support this goddamn team. I mean, if you look over our history. Like, every time that Facebook does like 10 years or whatever memory thing, I'm reminded of all the problematic things I said about the Washington Redskins 10 years ago and how the name didn't offend me. I'm a piece of shit. So there's a lot of us that have a lot of walking back on a lot of takes. I also looked and I saw how happy I was when we signed Albert Haynesworth. That also makes me deserve that I should probably have a place in hell. So Washington fan base is just over the fact that we are so addicted to football and this organization that we're not willing to take the proper stand necessary to walk away. So I put us at number 5. Number 4, we have to go New England Patriots. Now, the New England Patriots, wow, I'm naming 2 teams I actually like, 5 and 4. New England Patriots at number 4. Only reason being is that before the existence of Tom Brady, not even before the existence of Tom Brady, 2003, 2004, we were rocking with you. Like, you guys were cool. Once you get so used to winning, you can't help but be a dickhead. And I think that that's what ends up happening with the New England Patriots fans, is they just can't help but be assholes. So, yeah, while I do agree, well, shit, I'm a fan too. So while I do agree that, like, there are a lot of times that the New England Patriots fans are being unjustly accused of like making excuses for Tom. Look, a lot of times the attacks are just stupid. Deflategate was dumb as shit. And an alarm going off, I guess. Grandmama's cooking chitlins.
Okay, we don't eat chitlins in this house, so don't do that again. We know where that stems from.
He ain't using them.
My dad cooks chitlins here. I fucking hate when he does that shit.
They're burning.
Look, Deflategate was dumb as shit. The Tuck Rule thing, Oakland Raiders fan, shut the fuck up. They get unjustly accused of shit, but at the end of the day, you guys are winners, you're champions in my mind. It's just rein it in. We know you guys are great, rein it in. Right now, you're in that territory where you can't keep saying you're great because the jury's out on whether or not Bill Belichick can do it without Tom Brady. So slow your roll. You guys are right now at the cusp. You could be a likable fan base or be the biggest assholes in sports. You got a time right now to try to figure that out. Number 3, as far as fan bases that suck in the National Football League, I'm going to go Philadelphia Eagles. Now, Philadelphia Eagles fans, I respect how diehard and ride or die you are for your team. I do. I also respect to a certain degree that you can actually have a good, legitimate sports conversation with most Philadelphia Eagles fans. They know about football. The only thing that still strikes me as just being weird is that while they know about football, the one thing they don't have any idea about is their own goddamn team. Like, they never know anything about their own players or where it is they should rank at anything. And not to mention, you guys are the most loud and obnoxious motherfuckers on the face of the earth. You've thrown batteries at Santa Claus. You booed Beyonce off the goddamn field. You guys are pieces of shit. There's a reason there was a jail in your goddamn stadium. I think they put one in the link too. I've been to Veterans Stadium. I've had batteries thrown at me. As a matter of fact, I was in a yellow Nissan Xterra wearing my Washington football team gear, and a D battery went and flew through the goddamn back window. Never forget that day. I'll also never forget the day that we scored against you guys, and I had to take off my goddamn jersey in the goddamn stadium out of fear of safety for my fucking life. My brother, hey, just take off the jersey. Yeah, we scored. Just take off the jersey. Yeah, so you guys are just assholes. But I do respect how ride or die you are for your team. It's kind of cool.
And they burnt down their own city when they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's the most Philadelphia thing ever. As a matter of fact, when the Caps won the championship, I remember I drove from Virginia up downtown DC, and as I'm walking around, the quote that I kept hearing over and over again, might as well have been a hashtag that night. don't be Philadelphia. It was like, you had officials, you had cops all saying, don't be Philly. Don't be like Philly.
Also, they would have burnt down Chinatown, which has a whole different set of issues. Glad nobody went there on that day. And
Mauricio's a Philadelphia Eagles fan, so fuck him. The number 2 is the Raiders. Now, one would think I'm putting them on this list because of James. No, I've always fucking hated the Raiders because the Raiders fans are, how people talk about a victim mentality? That is a Raiders fan. They are born into thinking the world is against them. What they don't realize is they had an owner who moonlighted as the crypt keeper and Tales from the Crypt, and he convinced you guys that the world was against you when all you fucking did over how many decades was continue to big up how you guys are the bad boys of the NFL. Look at our silver and black. We're the Raiders. Can't even call them what city they're from because they move every 10 years because they can't sell out a goddamn stadium and no city official wants to fucking deal with their asses. It's just a matter of time before the eternal flame actually turns into actual fire and burns that goddamn stadium down in Vegas and then they run off and go be somewhere else.
Did we determine it's not even real?
It's not real. It's the dumbest thing ever. How the fuck are you gonna have an eternal flame, but it's fake? That's just dumb. It's like the Olympics walk around with the torch and it's just a fucking fake light. It's dumb shit. Raiders fans, I just can't get over all the complaining. You're like a goddamn old Jewish man at a deli counter, just constantly fucking complaining. It's like you should be the Las Vegas Kvetchers at the end of the fucking day. Like, it's just annoying.
The pastrami's no good anymore.
It's just nonstop. It's just Raiders fans. Just, Then not to mention, randomly, they'll stab each other in parking lots. It's just weird. It's just fucking weird goddamn franchise. And I never understand where you're at. Like, there's Raiders fans in Vegas and LA and Oakland, all over. I think just because they like black and silver as a color combo together. Al Davis, kudos to you. You fucking brainwashed a million fucking dumbasses. Whatever. All right. Number 1 worst fan base in Washington, in the NFL, the Dallas Cowboys. And the reason you can say the number 1 is because there's so goddamn many of them. You just have to imagine there's enough just terrible people in it. Most of them don't know shit about football. They don't know anything about football. The average Dallas fan, you can ask them to name 5 players on that team. I bet you 80% of the ones you ask still say Tony Romo. They have no fucking idea what's happening on that squad. Not to mention the biggest fan of them, period, is Skip Bayless. I mean, it should be LeBron James, but you could tell every time LeBron starts talking about football how much he doesn't fucking know about football. It's kind of funny to me. Cowboys fan in Washington, we call it NBD, never been to Dallas syndrome, right? Most motherfuckers, they can't even point out to where Dallas is on a goddamn map. And yet they root for a team. I think, once again, I think it's something with silver. Silver just attracts dullards to something. Cowboys fans just suck. Like, it's one thing to be like a dick riding fan base. It's nothing to be a dick riding fan base that can't even put in the work to know what's happening within the organization itself. And Jerry Jones is a piece of shit. And that stadium is an ungodly fucking just
I do like the Jumbotron, but I also
that is pretty cool.
I also dislike Stephen A. Smith most of the time, but I do very much appreciate how much he also hates the Dallas Cowboys.
And that's the thing, is that you also notice on my top 5 list, three of those teams came out of the NFC East. The only one that didn't is New York Giants because no one gives a shit. We just don't care. We don't care. All right, you guys are in the most populous goddamn city in the country. And the fact that you can even allow Jets fans to exist with how much of a shit show that organization is just shows what kind of shitty fan base and organization just ran out of there. They should have ran that city. They should have ran that team out of that city a long time ago.
The Jets are high on that. Is he from BYU?
Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
But that's been the top 5 worst fan bases, brought to you by Kadeen and the 1997 movie Metro, reminding you that life is a negotiation. Coming to theaters soon, starring Michael Rapaport and Eddie Murphy.
I have a question for you, K-Dot.
What's up?
Nothing to do with the Raiders fans. I'm not going to debate you on that.
I know. I'm right.
Do you think that that there's a lot of Cowboys fans in the DC area because they couldn't stand what your organization has been been a part of?
No, most of those guys are over the age of 70. Black.
What?
The ones that have the legitimate reasons.
Okay.
Are usually over the age of 70. Black, which those two things don't usually go well together as far as life expectancy, just saying. And then beyond that, it's like, then you have to realize that the kids themselves paid enough attention to what their parents were doing with football to actually know. But there's so many Cowboys fans that I see in any generation below it that just don't follow enough football to have really a discussion. All they're doing is they just dick ride with everybody.
They were a winning franchise for a while, or they're the contrarians who it's America's team and I don't like my home team, so I'm going to go with Dallas.
That's the thing, is that you got a lot of, there's still majority of Washington fans over Dallas fans in this area. Never get it twisted.
Yeah.
And the thing is that a lot of those fans are mommy and daddy didn't pay enough attention to me, so I'm going to root for a team that's opposite of that.
Fair.
Speaking of twisted, don't forget about Michael Rapaport's twists, which were in the 1997 classic Metro. Also starring Eddie Murphy.
The other thing about the Cowboys fans, name me how many people you know in your life that are this: Cowboys, Laker, Yankee fans.
So many.
Well, no, mostly for me, it's Ravens and Lakers. Yeah, like
I don't see that at all.
Yeah.
But I see a lot of Raven Lakers. I see a lot of Raven Lakers stuff. I don't know if it's a purple thing, but I see a lot of Raven Lakers
it's because they're in Baltimore, and they're not gonna like the damn Wizards because it's Baltimore.
I can see that. I can see that. I don't even hate that. I don't even hate that. But there's the idea that, to me, and I'm even gonna walk some of that back. It's not even Lakers fan. They're Kobe fans. It's Kobe, Cowboys, Yankees. They can't name you two players on the Yankees, period. And I say that as I grew up a Yankee fan, and I knew that that was the one thing. Like,
when you think about it, a lot of people don't even really care about baseball like that. Like, they're not as entrenched.
Depends on where you're at. Like, that's the thing, is that we're talking about two different worlds to a certain degree. Like, if you grew up in PG County, understood. If you went around to DC, upper northwest of Moco, a lot of where I stayed a lot of times, baseball reigns supreme. Like, that was once
the Nats came there, but before that,
well, before that, we loved baseball. We just didn't. A lot of people around my area, they rooted for the Orioles. A lot of people I knew that grew up with.
And you said you hated them because
Peter Angelo's a piece of shit. Even the team that they just trotted out for the Orioles right now, I think I saw a stat. The entire Orioles lineup cost a grand total of $139 million. It's like 20. Huh?
They are 2-0.
Regardless, but I'm just saying, Peter Angelos, in the way that he spends money and the way that he only cares about his pocket,
Moneyball.
He's got it ain't Moneyball. It's just being as cheap as you possibly can be. Is it working out for them 2 games in the season? I guess so.
But you said the season doesn't count, so
yeah. So who gives a shit? But as far as but Peter Angelos, I think that the stat was the entire lineup costs $139 million. There's like 20 something players in baseball that make more than the entire Orioles roster, which is insane. It's fucking insane. He shouldn't even be allowed to do that. But fuck Peter Angelos. You usually fuck any Baltimore team owner up until the Biscottis recently. Because even if you look at that, you look at Bob Irsay moving the fucking Colts out of the city in the middle of the night back in the 80s on the fucking Mayflower trucks. That was a piece of shit move. So the stadium used to be on East 33rd Street. I live 8 blocks north, and I remember talking to some of the people about, people talk about the football team leaving, but what they don't talk about is all the businesses in that community that went away because that stadium then went away.
Yeah,
and
just think about St. Louis.
This shit sucks, and I forever will hate
Rams.
Irsay for that. But Peter Angelos is a fucking cocksucker.
What's the owner of the Rams that owns the Arsenal too?
Stan Kroenke.
Yeah. Yeah, he moved the Rams from St. Louis to L.A.
I kind of understood the St. Louis thing with the back and forth that I saw with the city, even though I agree with the city over Stan. Because, look, it shouldn't be up to a city to provide a tax haven for you to build your monstrosity.
So what did you, at what point did you agree with Stan Kroenke then?
I think that the city was playing too hard a ball. There is a certain thing to be said about it. That's why I was kind of rolling back as far as the tax breaks. I can understand certain tax incentives.
St. Louis is a boring ass city.
Yeah, there's that too. But there's a certain thing that you need to give incentivize. You should incentivize a team to build a stadium because of the jobs and everything it provides, but it's usually a temporary burst. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say.
St. Louis sucks.
Maybe I didn't agree with Stan at all.
All right. So just checking. All right. So my final thought for this week.
Final thoughts brought to you by the 1997 film Metro, reminding you life is a negotiation.
DMX.
Oh, fuck.
Heard terrible news in regards to what happened to him yesterday. And apparently it doesn't look good, but I'm praying for the best.
Same. Apparently he's in the reports are that he overdosed and he is currently in a vegetative state. I really hope he recovers. He's an icon. It sucks.
There are a few guys that come through hip hop that it's a classification I was thinking about last week when I was having a conversation with somebody about guys that could have been the GOAT, but we all know are not the GOAT because of the way that like the careers panned out. I thought X at one point could have been. He's kind of in the same category I put like Busta Rhymes in the sense of like these are dudes that stayed unique to themselves, could still rhyme dope as fuck, switch up the flow and do all kinds of things, and then make the sing-songy stuff, make the pop hits, and also get you to real. It's a rare combo that X had. I think that white people kind of claimed his ass with all these fucking like anthems, X Gonna Give It To You, or the other song I refuse to say. But yes, hoping, praying for a speedy recovery for X, because that one is gonna hurt if it happens. I'm hoping it doesn't.
Yep. All right, who's next?
I just want baseball Monday against the Phillies. Come on. Oh, it's Arsenal's losing. Come on.
I told you that might happen.
I knew that. We don't have our two best players. Like what are we?
Who else is out?
Zaka and Emil Smith Rowe, both out.
Is Rose your second best player?
Yeah, without them, it's just Aubameyang. Then they just put their best defender on him. There's nobody that can pass the ball on this team.
I feel like Aubameyang is your best player.
No, he's our best player when our two best players are on the field.
All right.
He magically turns into the best player like the fucking pumpkin turns into a goddamn carriage because they have to deal with these two other super fast, super talented people. And they forget about Aubameyang, and then he gets the goals.
All right, fair enough. Well, what's the score?
1-0.
Okay, you got opportunity.
I would like to watch the end of this.
All right, K-Dot.
Ryan Fitzpatrick's going to make the Pro Bowl this year. That's final thought. Raiders fans, fucking.
That is a bold prediction. Brought to you by
the 1997 movie.
Metro.
Reminding you that life is a negotiation. Coming to a theater near you. Outside of that, I did watch a few movies recently. Bad Trip, worth watching, worth checking out, in my opinion. If you're above, I'd say the age of 25, and you're not a snowflake little sissy bitch that can take a joke, James, you might want to sit that one out. The outside of that, also, I was so late. Like Kong versus Godzilla versus Kong is on HBO Max right now, and I realized I didn't see any of the new Godzilla or Kong movies ever. I really dug the 2014 Godzilla movie, and right after this, I think I'm gonna watch Kong Island, or whatever that one was. Didn't like it. You got 77% on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know. I'm excited about it.
Did you watch Godzilla vs. Kong?
No, I'm trying to watch all the movies so I can watch that one.
I still need to watch Justice League.
Justice League's 4 hours. I don't know when I'm gonna get it.
I got an hour in, but
I would give it 2 stars.
You know what your girl like? I can't watch it until she's ready to watch it too.
I would give.
God forbid I watch a movie by myself.
2 stars.
Yeah,
it's not good.
All right.
I seen one part, like, cause I saw the original, but like, I saw the entrance of the Flash, and I was like, that's right. That part right there is better than like all the other shit that I saw before.
I boycotted Justice League because I knew I knew what the studio had done in the movie, and I refused to watch it until Zack Snyder could release his cut. So it was a payoff way. It was I mean I did think that it might not ever happen, so I was never gonna watch the movie, and I really wanted to because I'm a huge Ben Affleck guy. We'll see. Also, movie worth checking out. One of the best sports movies I've seen in a while. The Way Back, underrated flick. All right,
I'm leaving. Bye.
Cool. All right, hold up. Hey, whoa. Death Star goes boom. Brought to you by the 1997 movie Metro. Reminding you that life is a negotiation.
You see a scumbag behind the counter with a sword off. There's a female hostage down in front of the cereal rack, and there's a special on toilet paper 4 for $1.29.